So in 2-3 minutes, please can anybody tell us the meaning of audit evidence? We have explained deep this thing about it last week, but nevertheless, there's a need for us to still revise it first before we proceed. So please, in 2 or 3 minutes, audit evidence. Who can tell us the meaning of audit evidence? Okay, Mr. Kenneth. Thank
Good
you, sir.
evening, sir.
Good evening.
In short, sir, audit evidence are those informations, quantitative or qualitative, gathered during the course of audit exercise in order to express an appropriate and perfect opinion, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You can put down your answer. So who else? Who can tell us? Who else? Okay, Mr. Shebu.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Audit evidence are documents retained by the auditor. A document that will be retained by the auditor to
Please, can you please be
invite out
audible? I can't hear you at all. I can barely hear you. Can you speak louder, sir?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now, sir?
Yes.
I said all the audit evidence are documents used by the auditor to confirm, like as an evidence.
Go on. Okay. Maybe it's not there. Go on. We can hear you. Good evening, Mr. Abdugani. Let's hear you, sir. Mr. Abdugani, are you there?
You said what? Hello?
You were raising up your hand now. Let's hear you, sir. Meaning of audit
Okay.
evidence.
Audit evidence is any information used by an auditor that support the management assertion on financial reporting.
On financial reporting, the definition is not complete, sir. Yes, you are on the line, but it's not complete. You need to talk like a professional, sir. Yes,
I
audit
said
transaction. That assertion that you put there is, I can agree with you, but you did not close it very well. The definition is not complete. Oh yeah, now go on. I can hear you. I'm just telling you that the definition is not complete. Okay, Mr. Abdurrahman.
Hey, Mr. Sir.
Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
I cannot hear you at all. Your voice is so tiny. Okay, in order not to waste our time. It's okay. Let me just.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Audit evidence can seen as a kind of information that could be either in record or in an audio form, or it can be on a document, which will support the auditor in reaching an opinion or conclusion in order to formulate a audit report to give an opinion as per whether the financial statements reflect the true and fair view. That's how I see audit evidence.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So my baby is around now. Auntie Bukola. Oh yeah, please. Let's hear you. Sorry that I said my baby before your husband will come and slap me from here now. Please, let's hear you. Good evening. Is Bukola not there? You are raising up your hand now. Okay. So whenever you come back, please put down your hand. So
Oh, hello. Can
Please,
you hear
can
me?
anybody hear me?
Hello.
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I've been speaking since. I never knew the phone was on mute. Okay, mine is a question from people's definition about audit evidence. Is it like an information that the auditor gathered during the course of his audit, or an information provided to an auditor to enhance the performance of his responsibility, or either
Okay.
or the two?
Okay. So as far as we know, as an auditor, okay, before I will answer your question, another person is not per hand. Mrs. Is it Mrs. Tower or Mr. Okoyemi? Which one inside? I can hear
Sorry,
you.
sir, it's a mistake, sir.
Okay. So as far as we know that, you know, be an auditor,
Yeah.
you are in an organization for auditing. So you cannot substantially rely on the information supplied to you by the management. They prepare the account, they will give you all the necessary documents, fine. But you cannot rely solely on those documents they give to you. So you have to go extra mile to also make an inquiry. Like auditor is always like, you must have mind for investigate.
Okay.
Yes, you have that to investigate. So in a nutshell, what they gave you is not enough. You cannot place total reliance on it, because we know, like, they might falsify some things here just for them to have their ways during the time of audit. Then they can even post, they can even do Timmy and Lady. You just post, follow this in our post, credit will just enter, but the value will not hit the account. But you just receive the alert, and it will appear as if there is money in the account. So immediately after the audit like this, they will reverse the money back.
Okay.
So series of things like that. So on your own, for you to have a reasonable evidence to back up the report you are giving to the shareholder, so you need to further more on your investigation. So the information provided to you by the management and the one you could gather. So how do you
Okay.
gather your own too? You can do two inspection, two recalculation, the performance, analytical review.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you will do on your own to substantiate what the management gave to you before you now arrive at your opinion on the opinion on the account, whether it's of true and fair view. So in a nutshell, you can see that you have to combine the two together.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
You
Thank you.
understand now?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. So in a nutshell, audit evidence is that information that an auditor gathered during the process of audit in order to ascertain or to make assertion that the financial statement prepared by the management is of true and fair view, and it is free from material misstatement. So all those evidence gathered through interview, through inspection, through recalculation, through performance, through analytical review, that is what we refer to as audit evidence. Then from there, you can now be able to substantiate that all this thing I gathered, I've make an assertion. An assertion means that I'm confirming that from this information gathered, the financial statement prepared by the management is of what? True and fair view, and it is free from material misstatement. So that's the essence of audit evidence. So last week, we also talk about, let me just move my slide up. We talk about again the audit sampling and how to test our materiality, then the requirement for an auditor when you want to audit. Auditors should consider the relevance and reliability of information to be used as an audit evidence. Then we move to the use of management experts. That if management hire an expert to supply information to us. We as an auditor, can we still place total reliance on it? So we discussed about this last week, and there are some situations whereby some areas or some instances whereby we can place total assertion on that information given to us by an expert. We explained everything there last week. If you could remember, then we talk about sufficiency and appropriateness. So we said sufficiency means quantity of audit evidence. That is the meaning of sufficient. When something is sufficient, it means you are able to gather enough as much as possible. What appropriateness is the quality. Something can be quantity, but doesn't have quality. So completeness, I mean, sufficiency means quantity, that you are able to gather sufficient, that is enough evidence to back up your claims. Then appropriateness means that, okay, this is as big, as plenty as all these things. Is it the appropriateness of those audit evidence? We need to consider it too. So that's the aspect of sufficiency and appropriate in audit evidence. The reliability of audit evidence, we just talk about it. Can we place reliance on audit evidence? So it gives us an instances that evidence is more reliable when it is obtained in documentary form. It is more also reliable when it is obtained in an original form rather than photocopy. Then we also talk about the procedure of gathering audit evidence. We have inspection, observation, inquiry, external confirmation, calculation, analytical procedure. And those are the explanation there. And the audit sampling, we've discussed about it last week. Then now this night, we want to move to analytical procedure. What do we mean by analytical procedure? In a small, from our understanding, when something is analytical and procedure, like I said last week, that the meaning of that audit and evidence, they are two compound words that can stand alone. So as the meaning of this analytical procedure. What do you understand by analytical procedure before we proceed? So this night is not by reading. We need to understand the concept of what we are discussing. So before we proceed, so Mr. Kenneth, thank you. Let's have you. What is the meaning of analytical procedure, or what do you understand by analytical procedure?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It's analysis of plausible relationship between financial and non-financial data, which
Okay.
can come from comparing budget, industrial average, possible past records.
Okay, you said financial and non-financial information, right? So can you please explain further the meaning of financial and non-financial information, sir?
Financial information in terms of the figures in the budget, for instance, or when you compare industrial average figures, or you look at past financial records like last year, last 2 years, last 3 years, doing comparative analysis, sort of. So that is the financial data that you can compare. You want to know whether they are upward or they are downward, so that you can draw your conclusion that they are moving in the right direction or not. Then the non-financial figures, talking about the organization's relationship with its environment and all other factors, relationship with customer satisfaction and all that. So that is the little.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Then, Mr. Oladepupo, you want to contribute, sir?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening,
So,
sir.
analytical is just to analyze financial data and ratios to identify unusual trend or pattern. So, it involves carrying out, and there are different types of analytical procedures. It can be ratio analysis, regression analysis, trend analysis, industry comparison, among others.
Okay. Who else want to help us out? Okay, so from our good professional colleagues, Mr. Kenneth and Mr. Abdulrashid, so they are able to substantiate to reasonable extent that audit evidence or analytical review in audit evidence is very, very important. It involves the analysis of financial and non-financial data. Analysis of financial and non-financial data in order to substantiate, in order to place total, in order to form an opinion on the financial statement prepared by an auditor. That is a special method we use to analyze, we use to formulate the financial information prepared by the company, the both financial information and non-financial information. So that's what we regards to analytical procedure. That procedure, that step you take to analyze that financial statement, the financial information, which are all the figures in the financial statement, through the use of substantive testing or test of control, to how you calculate your regression analysis, through calculation of ratio. And non-financial information has to do with the company policies, the regulatory standard, if the recognition and the measurement of some important elements in the financial statement. What we talk about the revenue, revenue and the likes. So this analytical use, that special will be used to analyze that financial data, which is all those informations, all the figures in the financial statement, and non-financial information, which has to do with the aspect of the regulation and policy of the company, to make assertion that all these things are enough for me as an auditor to form my opinion on the financial statement prepared by the management, if it is of true and fair view, or if it is free from material misstatement. That is what we call analytical review. Please, any question? Any question? Can I proceed?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So I just want to know if we are
Proceed,
following.
sir. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know if we are following. So let's quickly read through this analytical procedure and see. But however, before we move on, analytical procedure has gone beyond just financial and non-financial data. When we are talking about analytical procedure, we are actually talking about the test, the quality of audit evidence, the test that we put in to affirm or to assert that the financial statement is of true and fair view. When we talk about the aspect of test of control and substantive testing, those are the way to do standard analytical procedure on the financial statement, which has to do with analysis of financial and non-financial data. It goes beyond just to calculate ratios and to confirm if the company is following their normal standard of procedure or anything. So it has to do with that special method you use, and this method can be categorized into two, although also have some functions under. First of all is our substantive testing. Substantive testing, this is where you do formal recalculation, all those figures. You take it one by one, determine the materiality level of each figures in the financial statement. You know that, okay, like my manager used to tell me in the office that, okay, just imagine the account that they use 1 year to prepare. You, as an auditor, you just want to go there within 2-3 weeks. or let me say a month, and you want to get everything right. It's not possible. But that is why we have materiality control to put in. You just do the analytical procedure, then do the overview of all the transactions. There you can determine your materiality level. It is those transactions that are their material, like revenue last year was 20 million and this year was 120 million. So that is 100% increase in revenue. So you need to test that revenue this year. How come? You ask question, how come you have 20 million last year and you're having 120 this year? That is 100% increase. So you might find out that most of the revenue they recognize does not follow normal IFRS 15 standard. Because IFRS 15 standard says that before revenue can be recognized, definitely the risk and reward must have been passed to the owner, the buyer, and the buyer has started using started enjoying the goods. That is where you can recognize your revenue. I cited an example last week whereby in a construction company, they give you project to build three-story building. You cannot recognize, okay, for that three-story building, the amount for the contract was 300 million. So you cannot recognize, IFRS 15 says that you cannot recognize that 300 million as your total revenue. You know why? Because it is work in progress. It is when you can recognize that revenue, it is when you are able to complete that three-story building and you pass the ownership to the final user, and the final user started using the goods. That is where you can recognize that money as your revenue. However, if you are able to finish first floor within that year, and that's 1/3, right? That is 100 million, and you are able to complete and valuer certify that, oh, this first floor is complete and is ready for use. That is when you can recognize your revenue, and which is 100 million. So you need to put yourself into analytical review, two test of two proper substantive testing and do test of control to affirm, to make sure that this financial information given to me by the management is this of true and fair view. Can we place total reliance on it? Does it have a sufficiency and appropriateness item for us to place total reliance on it? So those are the two questions you need to ask yourself, and those are the things you gather together before you now form your own opinion. So this topic we are treating is the art of audit, advanced audit and assurance. So we need to be very, very careful and be attentive here. So that is the meaning of analytical procedure generally. Please, I hope you are flowing with me. This class is silent. Oh. Can you
We
hear
are
me?
here, sir. I'm here, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nobody is saying anything, as if we are sleeping.
We are paying attention, sir.
Okay, so let's proceed. So I just use that one to explain the overview of this analytical procedure so that we understand the concept very well. It has to do with our substantive testing in the aspect of test the accuracy, the completeness, the appropriateness of the transaction, and test of control where you decide that this transaction is through the meaning of KEEV. I said something about KEEV last week. CEAVE. That C, the first C stands for completeness. At least this transaction, does the transaction pass through normal standard? That is completeness. Existence, does this transaction really exist, or they just formulate it there? Accuracy, does it have the arithmetic accuracy of the transaction? Did they record well? Maybe in the invoice is 100,000. They went to go and record 110. You need to understand the accuracy, the existence. Does this transaction actually exist? And valuation, cutoff. That's what we call KEEV. And this thing I mentioned, KEEV is CEAVE. So this thing that I mentioned, these are what we call test of control. You remember I said there are two things in analytical procedure. We have substantive testing and test of control. So under substantive testing, that's where you're subjected to do your calculation through your trend analysis and everything to determine the trend before you now know the appropriateness and the sufficiency of the transaction. Then through the test of control, arithmetic accuracy, the completeness, the valuation on the transaction. So that's what we refer to as analytical procedure. So let's quickly read through what we have here. I'll be fast now. Analytical procedure is the evaluation of financial information through analysis of acceptable and credible relationship among both financial and non-financial data. The financial information in the draft financial statement is often compared with a benchmark. The benchmark will be ratio and others. Analytical procedure also concerned with the investigation of changes away from expected trend and corroboration of explanation as to why these changes has happened when they are not, when they were not expected to. So that's what I'm saying in essence, that it will go beyond just analysis of financial and non-financial data. You ask questions. An auditor is always an investigator because you are there to investigate. You just want to investigate. You ask more questions. You ask how did you do it? How come there was 20 million last year in sales revenue and this year was 120? So you need to ask questions. It is from their from what they gave you and what you are able to gather through your inspection, your calculation, your performance. You'll be able to make assumption that financial statement is of fair view or not. So that's the meaning of analytical procedure. Then audit documentation. Audit documentation. So let me quickly explain the meaning of this audit documentation. So audit documentation are the way we record or the way we put down all the information we gather during the audit process. That's what we call audit documentation. Now we are able to substantiate, we've done our calculation, the performance through trend analysis, through ratios and test of control that we put together. So all these things will form our information. How do we document it? Do we just put it somewhere, maybe after use, you do not file it properly? The proper way of documenting is after you have gathered everything, you document it in a form that it can be easily accessible and readable to anyone that want to have access to the all the evidence you use. Maybe your manager or your directors want to review your work. So the documentation are the things you use that you documented, you put down, whether in written form or through this Excel sheet and everything, or lead schedule that you put together in order to arrive at that conclusion or review or conclusion you give or your opinion you assert in your audit report. So that the way we document is that's what we call audit documentation. Please, any question on this aspect before I proceed? Do we have any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so I can proceed, Abi. No question. Everybody understand, Abi. Everywhere good.
I have a question. I didn't understand the point very well.
You don't understand what, ma?
The explanation, sir.
The explanation.
Yes, sir.
Let me check your Madam Peace. You, Abi.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Please.
Audit documentation is very, very simple now. Like I said, literally, you might not even understand the concept, but just look at the word audit. You know the meaning of audit. Documentation. What do we mean by documentation? The proper way of putting something down in a readable form so that it can be accessible to others that want to have access to that information. The way you document your audit evidence. So you know the meaning of audit, you know the meaning of documentation, normal meaning of documentation. And which topic are we talking about? Audit evidence. It means that they are telling you now, how do you document all the information gathered during your audit? That is what we call audit evidence, audit documentation. It's as simple as that, man. Do you understand now?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
But I will still read through it so that you understand. Okay, Bukola, you are raising up your hand before. I have no issue.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to ask that for how long can an auditor keep documentation of their client? That's it.
Normally, in a real sense,
Yeah.
you're supposed to keep at least for next 10 years, supposed to keep the information of your client. But however, due to new regulation, they said after 6 years,
Okay.
all the documents are not expected to keep it in your possession again. So with that year, it is audit bad. Meaning of audit bad is that information might not be relevant again. So after that 6 months, you tend to go away with the information that you have.
Okay.
Do you understand now?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much.
Okay. So let's go. Audit documentation. SR 230 require the auditor to prepare documentation on a timely sufficient to enable an experienced auditor with no previous connection with that to audit. Okay, with that audit to understand the nature, time and extent of the audit procedure. The result of this procedure and audit evidence obtained as significant matters which arose during the audit and the conclusion reached. The auditor is required to document all discussion of significant matter. All audit work must be properly documented and held in audit file. This file is called audit working paper file. We've talked about this before. The documentation provided the record of audit procedure, performed the audit evidence obtained, and conclusion reached. The documentation should provide sufficient and appropriate record of the basis of audit reports and evidence that the audit was planned and performed in line with ISA and applicable regulatory environment. The preparation of sufficient and appropriate audit documentation on a timely basis will help the auditor to enhance the quality of audit. However, the following are the way of doing proper audit documentation. And what are the importance of audit documentation? Number one, it helps to facilitate effective review and evaluation of audit evidence obtained. At least by putting down your documentation in your audit working paper file, it will help you to facilitate effective review. So when you want to review, you'll be able to review perfectly without any stress because you actually document all the information you gather during your audit process. Then number two, to ensure the audit team member are accountable for their work. It also helps you as the auditor, to be accountable for your work. Maybe your manager or director want to review your work, the work you do on the field. So through proper audit documentation, you'll be able to account for all the sections and how you were able to gather, how you were able to document it. So if you document properly, it's going to make you be accountable for what you did. It's going to be seamless and easy for you to explain. That's what they mean there. Then number two, help to keep record and reference can be made to it in future date. So by doing proper documentation, proper audit documentation, it helps us to make reference to it for future date. Like if I'm the one that worked on this client last year, and I'm not there and I did proper audit documentation. So a new person that is stepping in can have access to the file, literally be able to understand the procedure and the position of the account last year so as to determine how to do the account this year too. So it's not that you just jump on the audit like that. You make inquiry first. Ask those people that give me their working paper file for last year. What are the things they are able to gather in audit evidence? You read through all these things. So this is what you are going to use to form your own audit planning this year to arrive at opinion on which to assert whether the financial statement is of true and fair view or not. So proper audit documentation help us to make reference to all those information, all those evidence we gather for future purpose. So another one, it serves as benchmark for independent auditor to refer to. So like I said now, someone worked on the account last year. I'm just taking over the job this year. Proper documentation should be able to navigate through the documentation, through the audit paper for work, the list schedule and everything gathered and prepared by the auditor doing the job last year. So just check through the file, be able to read through it, and it's going to serve as benchmark. Meaning of benchmark is going to serve as basis of what I'm going to do in my new audit appointment. So it also helps us to be versatile, and it will help in effective audit planning, because by the time you reach through it, you'll be able to plan very well on what you are going to do when you get to the client office, the document you are going to ask for from the client. So then again, it helps the auditor to plan and perform audit work. I just said it now. The proper audit documentation, will help an auditor to plan and perform the audit work properly. So these are the importance of audit documentation. So let's proceed. Contents or form of audit documentation. What are the contents? We have the audit program, the audit analysis, summaries of significant matter, letter of confirmation, representation, audit checklist, audit correspondence, and the like. So let me just share my slide now and let me ask this question. So can anybody see my slide now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, I can see.
so in we are still under audit documentation. Then I think we've explained the meaning, the content and form of audit documentation. So these are the forms of audit documentation. These are the paper that we use to plan for our audit work. Is it through audit programs, audit analysis, summaries of significant matter, letter of confirmation representation, audit checklist, and audit correspondence. So who can help us at the meaning of audit programs? So please, let's raise up our hand. This is a question time. Audit program.
I can't see the slide anymore. I don't like anything.
Maybe it's your network. Can anybody see my slide?
Yes, I can see your.
I can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so who can help us the meaning of audit program? Who can help us now? Nobody.
Okay, I think I would want to try. Audit programs can be defined as the steps or the procedures to be carried out during the audit process.
Okay, so in a nutshell, audit program means audit planning. You plan for your audit, the things you are going to do during your audit. What are the things you are going to check, the materiality level and everything. That's what we call audit planning or audit program. Okay, audit analysis. Who can help us? Okay, so let me just ask the meaning of this one, and at least I am expecting a lot of hand up now. What is the meaning of letter of confirmation or letter of representation? Who can tell me the meaning of letter of representation? Okay, Mr. Wale.
Okay, sir. Letter of permission are letters rolled out. It emanates from the auditor, but it usually go through the audit firm. No, sorry, through the company that is being audited to like, it's also collector of circularization to like their customers and vendors, confirming what the assertions of the management. It's like a third party external confirmation, yes. While letter of representation is usually also from the auditor to the company being audited, but it will be
Okay.
printed on the letterhead paper of the company being audited and signed. Is used as an additional evidence. It's not an evidence per se. It's used to support the audit evidence.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Wale, I want to believe that you work in an audit firm, right?
Not really, but AAA has done not 7 doors to me. I've been slammed twice, so this is the third time, and I pray I will survive this time around. I will succeed.
Inshallah, I pray.
Amen. Thank you,
I
sir.
pray, inshallah, for this holy month that I want to enter, you shall not have cause to write it again after this
Amen.
diet. Inshallah.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
Thank
Amen.
you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thank you so much. Can we have any other Mr. Shegun? Okay, let's have you. You can put down your answer.
So
Okay, Mr. Shegun.
yeah, letter of confirmation. That it is like a letter used by the audit firm to third party to confirm the details of transactions. Like for example, now maybe like sending a letter to their trade creditors or trade debtors to confirm the existence of that transaction. Why letter of representation? Are you this, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, letter of representation is just like a letter confirming the parties understanding their responsibilities towards the audited agency.
Okay. So let me hear Mr. Francis before I now make my comments. Mr. Francis, let's have you now.
Okay.
Your answer. Thank you.
It's all right. Letter of confirmation is a written confirmation by a third party, probably in the event that we have expert opinion and you require confirmation from them about their position or assertion on a particular item of the client. So in that case, letter of confirmation can be issued by the third party or by the experts. While letter of representation is simply by the client, is usually issued by the client company itself about their position. Maybe they are going concern position, or there are some significant matters, that you are not clear about, that the auditor wants a written confirmation that yes, we actually did this, or this is how this transaction is, treated. So in that event, a letter of representation, usually by the management or the, what do they call them now? Management of the company, that is where they can issue
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Okay. So now I want to comment on Mr. Oladipupo, Mr. Wale. Okay, so he got that letter of representation letter of confirmation very well, but he missed something out in that letter of representation. not sent by the auditor. In most cases, when auditor will send it, it's just that in a formal way, just in an informal way, the auditor will just give you the hint of what you are going to, just for a record purpose. But in a nutshell, that letter of representation is a letter given to the auditor by the management to assert, to confirm that they have substantially give everything that auditor require from them. You know, before you start an audit, auditor will have sent out circularization or the audit planning, the documents that they want from you during the audit. They will have sent it out to you so that you get them ready before they come. That is, but in their response that, oh, these are the things we are able to gather and we have substantially give you everything you requested for during the planning stage of the audit process. That is what we call letter of representation. So, but letter of confirmation letter. Confirmation letter is just an assertion used by an auditor to do third-party confirmation, to actually check, to confirm that the transaction that happened during the year, does it actually happen? And it's most especially used when you are treating payable and receivables. You send out circulation to all those payable and receivables to find out that this transaction, does it really exist? Okay, you say you are the debtors, which is receivable. Are you actually owning this company? So you sent out circulation to all those people to confirm if they are actually owning this company and how much in particular. That is letter of circulation. You sent out letter by the auditor. You are the one that will send it, just like third party confirmation. So Mr. Olawale got it right here. But they failed to link that letter of representation that it is the management that will give it to the auditor, that what you ask us to prepare to give you during the stage of during planning stage of audit, we have substantially give you everything and we've not left anything out from what you request from us. So letter of representation is from the management to the auditor, confirming to them that everything you ask us, we have already given you. That is that, and the auditor will sign. Then letter of confirmation or circularization means that you as an auditor, you sent it out to all those people, third party confirmation, by mention majorly in receivables and payables. Payable, the creditors, you sent out letter of representation confirming to confirm, but you use the company letterhead, do not auditors. You use the client letterhead. You put the information there. You now send it to all those debtors or creditors, which is payable and receivables, as the case may be. So that is different between letter of confirmation and letter of representation. Please, do you have any comments, any question on that? Okay, Mr. Francis, do you want to ask us a question? You are still raising up your hand. Okay, so Mr. Benjamin.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Please, sir, could you come again with the letter of representation? I was trying to jot down the letter of secularization you spoke about, and I skipped the information.
The difference between the two. Letter of secularization or letter of confirmation is a third-party confirmation. It means that it is the ways in which auditors confirm. It is a letter sent out by auditors to third party. Third party might be, especially example of third party in a transaction might be debtors and creditors, which is payable and receivable, to confirm the existence of that transaction with the client. That is, you are sending out the letter to all those people confirming their existence or the existence of the transaction with the client you are auditing. So letter of confirmation or circularization is often sent out by the auditors to third parties to confirm the existence of that transaction. of their transaction or existence of their relationship as regard to the client the auditor is auditing. So you add you prepare the letter. You want to confirm that in the schedule they said okay one of the receivables is Benjamin. Let me use your name, Mr. One of the this thing is Benjamin. They give me me I'm the auditor. You are the you are debtors to Mr. Francis. So Mr. Francis give me general ledger of receivables and I saw Benjamin there. So my own is to do confirmation letter and circularization letter. I'll do the letter. I will send it to Mr. Moses. Please help me print this thing on your letterhead. After printing it on your letterhead, you send it back to me. I will now send it to Mr. Benjamin to confirm. Mr. Ben, I'm the existence of that transaction, the amount on the general ledger given to me by Mr. Francis. I am going to write it there that I'm sending this letter to confirm if you actually own this also company and this is the amount. So to give the feedback you give to me that I will use to I'll make an insertion on it whether the transaction is there is assistance on the transaction or not. So the letter sent out by an auditor to the third party to confirm the existence and accuracy of transaction during audit process is what we call letter of circularization or letter of confirmation. On another note, letter of representation, it is the letter sent by the management to the auditor, confirming to them that all the relevant information, all the relevant documents requested for by the auditor during the planning stage of the audit process has been substantially how do I put this? Has been substantially rolled out or give out to the auditor in order to enable the auditor to perform his audit work. So letter of representation is sent out by management to the auditor confirming that we have supplied all the information needed from us to enable you do your audit work properly, and the auditor will sign. After the auditor has confirmed that, I asked for a debtor schedule, you give me, you tick. I asked for a receivable schedule, you give me, tick. I asked for your property and plant equipment, if there's addition and everything, all the documents as regard to the purchase of new assets, I request for it, you give me. So that letter of representation is the letter confirming that we, the management, has given you everything you requested for during your planning stage of your audit work. So the auditor will read through it and confirm that all the transactions all the documents I requested for has been given to me. Then you now sign. So that paper is now letter of representation. Mr. Benjamin, do you understand?
Very well, sir. Thank you very, very much, sir. I'm grateful.
Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on to audit file. As I explained before, that's our audit working paper file. We have permanent file and current file. So the permanent file is the file record of information that's significant to every annual audit of that client. This may include legal constitution of the firm, history, ownership, accounting system, policy, and the likes. But current file, it is the file that the audit working paper file of that current year of audit that you are doing. All the paper that you could gather. We normally refer to this one as correspondent file. Correspondent file is what you can gather during the audit tenure, maybe the auditing of 2024 financial year end. Now, so all the information you are able to gather, the lead schedule and everything, all the documents the information you gather, you put it in a corresponding file. That is what we call current file. That is, this is a fact that is relevant for the current year of audit. This will be main evidence on which conclusion for the year audit will be based. Example, we include final financial audit control material. However, ISA 230 require the auditor to assemble the final audit file on a timely basis after the audit report date of not more than 60 days. The auditors must not delete or discard audit documentation before the end of its relevant period. So that is the meaning of, that's the difference between the permanent file and current file. Please, any question before we proceed? Do we have question on that? Any question on that before we proceed?
No, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's proceed. So all this one, they are just then nothing much. Review of written representation. Okay, let me quickly explain the meaning of written representation. So written representation is a, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, please. You mentioned something about 60 days. Is it the maximum period the auditor is expected to keep these audit files with him?
No. What that aspect means that at least you should not discard, like you are expected to collate that this thing at least with the minimum of 2 months. You know, when you are doing your audit, like the company that their year end 31st December of every year, they must have conclude the audit and file with tax payments on or before 31st of March. I want to enter tomorrow. So those, any company that their year end 31st. So what they are saying that at least within you should be able to gather sufficient evidence to do your audit plan or to do your audit work within 60 days. Because they assume that at least the audit work will start by 1st of January and you must have concluded on or before 31st of March. That's 31st of March of the next year in order for you to file. So that's just the difference, the tenure at which you can gather that information. That's what they mean by that 60 days there. Please, do you understand, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank
Mr.
you.
Whitman, Mr. Kennedy, can you please mute your mic? Thank you, sir. Okay, so I want to explain the meaning of letter of representation. This letter of representation is what I've explained before, which is the same thing as letter of representation. So let's read through it. So written representation is a written statement by management provided to confirm certain matter or to support other audit evidence. ISA 580 requires the auditor to obtain appropriate written representation from management in the form of letter of representation addressed to the auditor. This written representation may be an important source of audit evidence. However, although the written representation provides necessary audit evidence, they do not provide sufficient and appropriate evidence on their own. Content of letter of representation. Letter of representation is also written representation, which I've explained before. That is a letter from the management to the auditor confirming that all the information requested by the auditor has been supplied to them. So in order to enable the auditor to use all those information as the basis of his audit evidence. Please, any question? That's why I'm trying to like take them one after the other, explain the concept, the basis, because this is the art of all the exam we'll be writing. So if we not get it well here, it will be difficult. So that's why I'm taking my time. You can see that on a normal day we used to use one section for one topic, but this is the second week we are treating audit evidence because it is wide and That's the heart of the exam in how. Please, any question? I want to try and take my time on this audit evidence very well. So if you understand, we are good to go. Any question? Any question? Oh, can anybody hear me? Nobody is talking again.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
I hear you. We can hear you, sir.
Okay, so this class is done now. Nobody is talking. It's me that's supposed to be tired though.
We
No
we
question.
can hear
Fire
you.
on.
We don't want to disrupt the class. We can hear you.
Anytime I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
anytime I want to
Most
confess
of us.
that if
Okay,
anybody
maybe.
are hearing me, you should be on your toes and say, oh, we are with you, so that we
You
know.
know, we need to unmute. We need to unmute before we talk. So most of us don't know we are muted.
Okay,
He asked
that's
question
fine.
at the end of the class.
And the most people are writing
Mr.
before
Rahman,
the
put up your hand.
That's why.
Mr.
You don't want to
Rahman,
interrupt the class.
if you want to ask a question, please raise up your hand. Mrs. Peace, you can ask me now. I can hear you.
Please, what is the difference between letter of presentation and written presentation?
Ha!
Is it the same thing?
It's the same thing. Letter of representation and written representation are the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, ma. Thank you. So, Mr. Abdurrahman, please, your question. You can put down your hand, ma, Mrs. Peace.
Okay, hello, well done, sir. Thank you for the class, sir. Most of these, all these topics that we are being, we used to treat it. I don't know. For those of us that write this class in skill and people that have written in this level, they will agree with me that these questions are not going to be come in this form. Like, what is this letter? It used to be placed in a scenario way, sir. So
Okay.
I would also appreciate if we can, as we are treating this topic, and maybe if we can be going and check all these questions and see how these things are being answered. Because by the time you go to the exam hall, you will just realize that it's not being like, if it is what is letter of representative, I can write. What is audit evidence? All of us know. But these guys paste their questions in a kind of a scenario way. In fact, you hardly know whether this is where the answer or the something you are going to write. That's my own observation, sir. And I don't want
Okay.
to obstruct or disturb your class. That's
No,
why I
I
don't.
understand.
I want us to wait at the end of.
Okay, so on that note, I will ask, are you just joining the class, sir?
This is my third time because sometimes I travel. I just come back.
Okay.
So my network, I travel far into northeast. So joining the class there it seems somehow. Sorry,
Okay.
sir. This is my third time joining
No
this
problem.
class.
No stress. So I just want to establish on some this thing that I've been trying to reiterate it on almost every time that audit is not going to be like what is. But however, in that scenario they will give to you, there will be all these things indirectly ask you the meaning of this written representation. For example, the way they will structure it, if you read through it very well, you read the scenario, then read the requirement, you should be able to understand what they're asking you. So they are not going to just tell you to write story. And there are two things there for your information, sir, that you need to know. First of all, as you understand the meaning of letter of representation, the major issues that we have in this audit and assurance is we not linking our answer to the given scenario. Like you said, they are not going to ask you what is letter of representation, but they put it in the scenario. So now there's two things you need to know there. What are they asking me here? Letter of representation. Is it enough for me to just give them the meaning of letter of representation? No. But you have to link that your letter of representation to the given scenario. They might ask you that, okay, uh, uh, company A, I just want to form a question for you and see how they are going to to ask you and how you are going to answer. They will just begin like this. You are the you are the auditor to Abdurrahman and Construction Limited. So over many years, there has been a proper audit, and audits evidence has been well documented. But unfortunately, last year, the auditor were not able to substantiate the audit evidence provided by the auditor due to lack of knowledge of the auditor. So you have been assigned as the new auditor you have been assigned as the new auditor of Abdurrahman Construction Limited on the importance of letter of representation in order for you to base your audit evidence and make an assertion to make sure, or to on which you base your opinion whether the financial statement prepared by the management of Rahman Construction Limited is of true and fair view and it is free from material misstatement. In that scenario, they said as an independent auditor, okay, they are trying to tell you the importance of what letter of representation. So you see, are you with me, sir?
With you, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Please, are you following the way I'm constructing the question?
Yes.
So
I'm
you
with
will
you,
see that in
100%.
that scenario, they were auditors audit has been going on smoothly, but the last audit they had, there is no proper audit audit documentation, and auditors were not able to substantially give their opinion on the financial statement due to what? Lack of confirmation of audit evidence. So you as a new auditor, they are telling you that for your audit to be successful, they are telling you the importance of what? Letter of representation, of letter of confirmation, so as to aid your audit program and
Opinion.
to help you to form an opinion on the information given to you by the what? By the management.
Opinion.
So you see that in that question, they are
By the
stylishly asking
management,
you
yes, sir.
the importance of what? In the question, they will put like importance of letter of representation. So, my dear brother, where the failure start is, we just go there like that. First of all, you need to check two things. But this thing, we are going to establish it when we are doing our revision. You need to check two things. Once they ask you that kind of question, you first of all go and look at the mark allotted to it. If it is 3 marks, you should know that you are not expected to say much. So there, just give them the meaning of letter of representation. And however, you just give them letter of representation. You now say, however, the following will help the name of the company, the name of the new auditor. Let me say,
Raman, yes.
no, Raman is the company. The new
Company.
auditor,
Okay.
maybe Idris
ABC firm.
ABC Consulting Limited.
Yes, sir.
After you give them the meaning of letter of representation, you know they ask for the important. You first of all
All right. Yes, sir.
start by before proper understanding of before proper understanding and importance of audit representation. However, letter of representation can be referred to as, you give them the meaning of letter of representation, full stop. Now said,
Okay.
the following are the importance of letter of representation and thereby will help ABC Consulting
ABC
Limited.
Consulting firm.
Yes. So in order to affirm, to make assertion that the financial statement, all the information supplied by the Alaman manufacturing company is of true and fair
Thank you,
view,
sir.
and and it is free from material misstatement. You know, you have already given them preamble that link Raman Consortium Limited, the importance of
With the
audit
firm.
letter of representation, and the new auditor. You are able to link it together. which is what they ask
Yes,
you
sir.
in the question. Before you now state the
Yes, sir.
important, just 2, 3, you are good to go. So you need to
Thank you
understand
very much, sir.
the mark they allot to that question. If it is 3 marks, you know that you're not expected to waste your time too much. Just give them the meaning of letter of representation, give them like 2 important. Make sure that you link that they actually ask you the important, but they assume that we don't know the meaning of letter of representation. So why will you just jump to the important? Give them
Thank you
the
very
meaning of
much.
letter of representation. In your preamble, it is your preamble that will show the relationship between Raman Construction Company, the new auditor, and the
And
importance
ABC
of that letter of
constitution.
representation they're asking you. Just give them 2 or 3, you are good to go. Can you see
Okay.
the problem
Thank
we
you
have
very
in
much. Yes,
answering all this question? It is our ability to interpret and our inability to interpret and link our
to
answer.
understand the requirements.
Yes. So we
I
are
get
going
it, sir.
to
Thank you very much.
explain this thing in a very broad way during our vision class. Permit me to proceed, sir.
Thank you, sir. I really have.
Okay, so
very much. We are good to go, sir.
Okay, Mr. Oladipupo, Abi, Ramat, is it Ramat? Where is raising up her hand now? Okay, we all understand that. So I can proceed now. Thank you. Where did you go to now? Okay, Mr. Abdul Rashid, let's hear you. You raise up your hand before you disappear.
Hello, sir.
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, it's the network.
Okay.
Okay, sir, I want to confirm. For instance, I'm looking at this note you are projecting.
Okay.
So I realize written representation, letter of representation is written by the management. Then looking at the content of letter of representation, the first point is saying drafted by the auditor. So I'm asking myself, is there a contradiction there?
I explained before that normally for easy purpose, the most acceptable one is the company. If you have been into like real audit field, it is the company that will give you the management that will give you the letter of representation confirming to you that everything you requested from us, we have given it to you. But in another sense now, you know, did you work in an audit firm, sir?
No, sir.
Professionally, I'm not supposed to be saying this, but for understanding of the class. So normally, it is the responsibility of the management to prepare accounts. It does not, auditor does not even have time to even, you must not prepare the account, the financial statement. Your own is just to go there. If your PPE under financial system of financial positions is reading 20 million, me and auditor, I want to confirm what are the things that are made up of that 20 million. But the audit we are doing today now, it's the auditor that now prepare the account. I'm just trying, it's not professional. That's why I said I'm just saying it. So we, the auditor, we know what we are going to like tell you to write. So it's not like in another way around that is the auditor that now prepare it, draft it for you, just put it on your letterhead, then you put space for me to find, for me to know, for me to just attest that, oh, this letter was sent to you, was sent to me by you to confirm that everything that I requested from you, you have given it to me. So indirectly, it's the auditor that give it to this thing, that this is what you are going. Just like I'm telling you that, oh, this is if these people come. Have you heard of FRCN, Financial Reporting Council?
So yes.
So they are the bodies now that they are sanctioning everybody, including auditing firm, if you are not doing the right thing to do. So these are the part of things that they check for you to be on the safe side. That is why now recently that it is now the audit firm that will now draft it, send it to you, put it on your letterhead, and send it back to us, as if you are the one that gave us this thing. Do you understand the concept?
Yes, sir.
But in a real time, it is the management that prepared letter of representation, not the auditor.
Okay.
Do you understand?
So that implies that. So this first point, writing this first point in exam, Is that not?
No, you don't have. I'm just trying to tell you what is
What is
obtainable now.
obtainable? Yeah, I get
Yes,
that.
just like your auditor are not expected to prepare financial statement. It is the manager that prepare. Your own is just to check the accuracy, the completeness of that transaction. But nowadays, auditor now prepare the account.
So that means there's really nothing to audit if they prepare the account.
It's not that they'll prepare the account. You give me trial balance. Trial balance is like incomplete record. Trial balance is the summary, the list of schedule from our definition from secondary school. List of schedule that shows the credit and debit balance of transaction in an organization within a financial year. That is trial balance. You are just giving me raw data. Instead of you to prepare the account, you have the raw data, use it to prepare the account. Me, I will come and verify. But nowadays, you have the raw data, you give me the raw data, it's me that will now
That would be
share the raw data. It's me that will now refine it. Then I will now present it to you that from the raw data you give to me, this is what I'm able to find out. It means that some of this thing is not conforming to what's supposed to be. You are not following normal standard, you are not following normal this thing. It's not that auditor will not audit, we will investigate through, but it's supposed to be two-step process. You have the raw data, you refine it, so that me, I will come and do the final check. But now they now do it as one-way process now. They have the raw data. Well, the raw data is the trial balance. You send it to me, I will refine it. From that, the process of refining it, I'm trying to gather some evidence. I will say ask you to present some letter, some document to me for me to make sure that what you recorded as your PPE is actually the same thing. Do you understand, sir, what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Please, I want us to understand this well.
I really enjoy your response, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Oduak, sorry, I'll be Mr. Udowo. Sorry if I did not pronounce your name very well. I'm sorry, sir. Please, your question. Hello, sir, I can hear you. We are not hearing you. Can anybody hear him?
I can hear you, sir.
No, I mean Mr. Udo. Can anybody hear him? It's like he's talking, but me, I can't hear him here. Maybe it's my network.
We can't hear him.
Okay, so maybe it's network. Sir, you can check your network and connect back. Okay, I think it's can you hear? Okay, Mr. Abdugani, you want to ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Assuming an audit firm need a bank confirmation from the bank, which kind of letter the auditor will write, and how is it going to write it?
Is letter of confirmation.
Okay.
Or letter of circularization. It is you that will send it to the bank that this company is the company letterhead you will use that this company want you to confirm, give us all the bank account they have with you, the opening balance, the balance they have in each account, in each currency, naira or dollar or pound, so you send it to them. That one is letter of confirmation or circularization letter. It is sent by auditor to the third party. Bank is the third party to what? To the company you want to audit.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You want to audit, and the bank is the third party. So that's why we call all this circularization or confirmation as third party confirmation. We normally refer to them as third party confirmation for you to confirm to us that this thing they said that they have with you is actually correct.
Okay.
Do you understand that, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question before we proceed? I mean, this class I like to limit this class only to 2 hours, but I now found out that we now spend more than 2 hours now. Okay, but let's proceed. Mrs. Peace, your question, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Based on your explanation now,
and the letter of secularization. But this one now, content of letter of presentation, drafted by the auditor. I thought it's management that will draft the letter and send to the.
Madam, you watched this class before? Are you just joining back?
My network is bad. Just log in now.
Okay, I'll pardon you for that. I said what you are seeing here. How do I explain? It's like you want to take me back to the whole process. But let me explain.
Sorry, sir.
Normally, what is obtainable is the management that prepared the letter of representation and give it to the auditor. But the kind of audit and the situation we find ourselves, we find out that because of FRCN, Financial Reporting Council, now that they are now, if you have conversant and versatile with Financial Reporting Council now, they give laws on how audit firm is going to prepare and present the financial statement audited by the company of the company. So there they put responsibility of the management and responsibility of the auditor. If the auditor is not doing the right thing, or if the management is not doing the right thing and the auditor is supporting them, the auditor will be fined. So now currently they have 14 rules now. Rule number 14 is fines and penalty on default from rule 1 to 13. That is, if you default rule 1, you pay penalty. So rule 14 is now fines and penalty now. So it is now becoming obvious that, for us to avoid penalty, let me quickly do this thing, send it to you, as if you are the one that do it yourself. Then you now send it back to me for me to now sign. You don't understand. Like, I want you, like, for example, now you have someone that will come and check
you are
your
giving
account.
Orijo.
Like, you have someone that will come and check your account now. And to avoid problem, because I know that if you are not doing the right thing, they will not penalize you. It's the audit firm that they will penalize. Okay, see what you are going to do. I know they will ask you what is ABC. So I'm giving you that they will ask you what is ABC. So you return it back to me, put it in a letter as if you are telling me that it is ABC you give to me, and I will sign. I'm the one that give you the information that write ABC in your letter. I will give you that. Write ABC in the letter I want to give to you. Put it in your letter and send it back to me. Put my name there and put space for me to sign to confirm that, it is ABC. This person is actually asking me. I'm not sure. I'm the one that give you the information that this is what you are going to put in the letter. Then you send it back to me as if you are the one that prepared the letter yourself. So, in a nutshell, when they ask you what is letter of representation in an exam, please don't say it is drafted by the auditor to the management. The letter of representation is drafted by the management to the auditor, confirming that all the information supply, all the information required by the auditor during the audit process has been supplied to them. That is the meaning of letter of representation. Please, do you understand now, Mrs. Peace?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so can we proceed now? You can put down your hand, ma.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
because of our time, let's be fast.
Okay, so all these things are there for us to read. External auditor reliance on the work of internal auditor. So this aspect is telling us that we, as the external auditor, can we rely on the work of an internal auditor? So let's read through it and see. The responsibility of relying on work done by the internal auditor rests entirely with the external auditor. It's you as an external auditor that will decide that this information, although not totally place reliance on it. Internal auditor is just like internal police that will safeguard the company policy and the program to be followed. So if you have effective internal audit control, then you can rely solely on that information given to you by that internal auditor. Please just give me like 1 minute. I want to talk to my brother. Okay, so sorry, I just have to talk to my brother. So, what are we saying? I said, can we place total reliance on internal work of the information given to us by the internal?
I remember they go on the no, I don't go there.
So, okay, someone just sent me a message here on chat now, so that's what I'm reading. So, I want to believe that Mr. Ola is just joining the class again. So, I think I've explained because he said the material I'm using says that letter of representation is drafted by the management, but you are saying you should not write it drafted by the mayor auditor. I'm just telling you this for like what is obtainable, and I want you to see different with what is the actual way of doing it and the actual way we are doing it now. You know, just to avoid problem of FRCN. But in a nutshell, when you want to write in an exam, please don't write it is from the auditor to the management. That's blunder. Please. Maybe I will even have to edit this and send it back to the client so that you know say is the material that I gave to you that is saying another thing. But I know I've already substantially explained beyond reasonable doubt, and everybody in this class can testify to it. Even if you Google what is letter of representation, you can never see the place where they said it's auditor that prepare it and send to the management. So, Mr. Ola, please, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so we're on the same page now. Okay, so the aspect we are now is, can we place total reliance on the work of internal control? So where we have a very strong internal control system, like we said that the reliance on the work of internal auditor as an information given to us is resting solely, the responsibility is solely to the external auditor. You'll be the one to decide if you can place reliance on it or not. But however, there are some conditions whereby we as the external auditor, we can place reliance on the work of internal auditor. Internal auditor is just like internal police that safeguard, that ensure compliance and the policy of the company are being properly followed within the organization. While external auditor is an independent body that is coming outside, but it's going to work with internal auditor, just like police and police, just like federal police and state police. Federal police is coming to arrest a criminal in a state. Is going to work with that state police now. Oh, how far these people, you know them very well. How do we arrange them? How do we apprehend them? How do we? So they will be the one to give you the information, substantial information that you will need to apprehend all those criminal. So if you not, it not depend on you as the federal police. I'm just setting an example to place reliance on it based on the information they give to you. So here is the instances of factor to be considered by the external auditor before you can place reliance on the information given to you by the internal auditor. Is are we following? Are we still on the same page? Hello, are we
Yes,
still on the same page?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I will see, sir.
Yes,
Internal control and
Okay.
external auditors.
Okay. So number one, it says ISA system provides guidance for auditors who decide to rely on the internal auditor's work. The external auditor is required to evaluate the function and procedure of internal auditors. The following are factors to consider. Number one, the status of the internal auditor in the company. The external auditor will rely on the internal auditor's work if it has operational independence, its scope of work, and if it is a recommendation are applied. It means that if the internal auditor is working independently in the sense that you are just an internal auditor, but you are an independent organ in that organization. It means that you are not influenced by the decision of the management of the organization. You do your work the way you're supposed to do, your professional duty and skills, your objectivity, your integrity, so that your independence is not compromised. So if we are able to ascertain that your independence is not compromised, you are objective in your dealings with the company. You are not influenced by the the managers of the organization. You are not influenced. Their decision cannot change what you are going to give out. They are so objective about your decision. Then external auditor can rely on the information supplied to him by that internal auditor. That's what we are saying in essence. Number two, the technical competence and due professional care. That's what I just said. And the level of effective communication between the internal and external auditor, and the assess risk of material misstatement on the account balances. If it is not material, then you can place reliance on it. If the work was performed with adequate technical training and proficiency, the report was properly supervised, reviewed, and properly documented. Appropriate conclusions were reached, and any unusual matter were properly resolved. Okay, using the work of an auditor expert, SR 620. The first one was 610. Talk about the can we place reliance on the information supplied to us by internal auditor. Now the external audit, the SR 620 now said that is now talking about the use of expert auditor, that the information supplied by an expert auditor to us as an external auditor, can we place reliance on it? So that is what we want to establish here. Now, please, I hope I am communicating so that I'll be fast about this. Hello, I hope
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's quickly read through it.
Sir.
Okay, an expert to an auditor in any individual organization that possess skills, knowledge, and experience in the field other than accounting or auditing. The auditor may use the work of an expert to provide knowledge relevant to audit, which the audit firm itself does not possess. Assessing the work of an expert require the auditor apply the following procedure. This is how you are going to know that you can place total reliance, or you can place reliance on the information supplied to you by an expert auditor. Number one, obtain understanding of the expert field of expertise sufficient to allow the auditors to reach its objective. Number two, agree time of engagement with the expert. Evaluate the adequacy of the expert work. Evaluate the competence, capability, and objectivity of the expert. Evaluate the knowledge of the expert, qualification, membership of the professional body, license to practice. So these are the things that we need to check through as an external auditor before we can decide to place reliance on the information supplied to us by an independent expert auditor. ISA system talk about the information supplied by an internal auditor. If the external auditor can place reliance on it, that is ISA system. Explain the condition that we need to follow before we can decide to place reliance on the information given to us by the internal auditor. While the ISA 620 talk about an expert auditor, whereby can we place reliance on the information by an independent expert auditor. So these are the following ways we need to check, or the procedure we need to check to determine if you can place reliance on the information supplied to us by the expert auditor. Okay, this is Buki. Okay, let me start from Mr. Udowo. You raise up your hand, sir. Yeah, let's hear you now. I can hear you. Can you please speak louder, sir? I can't hear you. Is this my network? Please, can anybody hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear
We
you,
can
but
hear
I
you.
can't.
Yes, sir.
It
We can
means
hear
that
you.
the network is from his side because I can't hear him and he's still talking.
Yes.
Mr. Odowo, you can you can drop the question in the chat box so that we see it.
His mic is muted now.
It was on mute before, but we can't see hear him. Or can you hear him from there? He's talking right now, but we can't hear him.
We can hear him.
Okay,
He
so
should raise his volume.
you can just drop this in the chat box for us so that we just will see it, read it, and respond to it. Okay, Suliat or Mrs. Bukola, you were raising up your hand before. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, let's hear you. Can hear you.
All right, thank you. Well, the question I wanted to ask before was is that you're at the point you're using auditor and you're using expert. So I wanted to ask if there is a difference between the auditor and the expert, or they are the same.
Expert might be another profession entirely. Certified expert, like you, okay, now as we have aspect of forensic. You know, we have aspect of forensic.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the meaning of forensic.
Yes.
Okay, please. What's forensic?
I know the meaning.
I know you know the meaning.
Forensic.
We are learning. Generally, everybody is learning. So it's not that we are going to castigate if you don't even understand or you don't know some aspects. That's why we are here to explain to each other.
Okay. Forensic is accounting. Yeah, like forensic auditing is like investigating, examining financial record for evidence of financial misconduct.
Okay. That definition you give is just like normal work of an internal auditor or external auditor. But forensic is the use of special or scientific method to investigate misconduct that relate to fraud or misappropriation of funds in an organization. The use of scientific or special way of investigating, that one might subject to use of some machine that can special procedure is scientific, like sophisticated machine to detect fraud and irregularities in an organization. So that's what the forensic are. So okay, now so I now want to talk the aspect of forensic auditor in the sense that you are okay. You okay. So I want to talk the aspect of you as an auditor, and we have experts in forensic. So you can seek information from a forensic auditor, forensic expert, to on the assertion of the financials on the financial statement prepared by the management. Maybe you want to investigate further about this thing. You seek the opinion or the information from an expert for them to do extra scientific investigation on that subject matter. So that's what we refer to as an expert auditor. So in that aspect, you are an expert, is an expert, but that one requires special skills and special skills and procedure in line of that this thing. So you seek the information from that expert for you to arrive and to form your opinion on whether the financial statement is of plan review or not. That's one aspect of an expert. What of independent valuer is an expert. Maybe you want to value this this asset of the company. So the company is telling you that the thing worth 1 billion. You seek information because that one is valuation now. You want to use it to determine this thing, the worth of their property they are using. So and they said it's 1 billion. So you seek the information from an expert, an independent valuer to come and value the property if it actually worth 1 billion as the management claimed. So there, you can choose to rely on the information provided to you by that valuer. That's another expert. What of law? The aspect of law. What did the law say? Maybe in terms of tax, this thing. The law says the tax law say this. Come engage a lawyer to help you translate this thing because he's an expert in that field, or any tax consultant that is an expert. But you just want to establish some fact to be able to form your opinion whether the financial statement and the information provided are accurate and sufficient for the audit work. That's another expert. So we have many experts like that. Do you understand now what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. So now, like in a nutshell, auditors are not experts, right?
Oh, subhanallah.
Alhamdulillah.
I never said auditor is not an expert. Before you can be a qualified auditor, you are already an expert. Expert in the sense that you are just there to investigate it, but you might need a helping hand, another expert to supply some information to you.
Okay.
I cited 3 examples. Okay, you are an auditor. Are you a valuer?
No.
Yes, but because you need to value that asset, you need information from an expert.
Okay.
In that line that study evaluation of this all those estate valuer. Please come and help me to value this estate. I'm doing audit for this company. I need to do valuation of their this thing to know the exact worth of their property, plant and equipment, their PPE. But they said their PPE worth 1 billion. Please, as an expert valuer, please help me value this property. Does it worth 1 billion? Are you a valuer? Did you study surveyor? Are you surveying the distance? So you request for the information of that surveyor of valuer to help you value the property of the company. In order for you to substantiate and base your opinion on it, that what they wrote as the total value of that asset actually worth it or not.
Okay.
That is expert in one side, because it's not that you are not an expert, but you are not an expert in that field.
That field, yeah.
So you cannot say, Abba, why you say so an auditor is not an expert? So what are you doing there if you are not an expert? Why are you writing ICANN? Is it not to be an qualified accountant or an auditor?
Yeah.
You are writing the exam just to become an expert in that field. So you cannot, even at this stage, they cannot just, there's difference between you and someone that does not even have ICANN.
Yeah.
There is a lot of difference, even though you are not qualified yet.
Yeah.
Because of the experience and exposure. So some organizations, if you like, come with first class, masters, anything, and you don't have ICANN, they will recognize you that have lower this thing. You come out with a 2-2 or as the case may be, and yeah, even if you're ICANN student, you are not even qualified because they know that you're exposed. You are training yourself to be an expert in that field.
Yeah.
That is it. I hope you understand now.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Udwak is giving us a question. Say, good evening, sir. Please help us to bring a question in each topic that relate to the case on how to answer the question and link it. Okay, I will do that during the revision time. But you can see, Apex, thanks to Apex, will now make everything easy for you. If you check Apex this thing now, after each and every topic, there is past question summary where they put that topic where they tested it in all past question is there. Likewise, this material too. It's just for you to read through this topic that we are teaching, then go to where we make reference or where they have tested the question before. Just go to it in the Pathfinder. Read through the question with your understanding on what you read. You should be able to use it to answer the question. I hope I've answered your question, sir, Mr. Udowo. Okay, sir. So I don't think there is nothing much to say about this audit evidence. We are able to substantiate everything, all this specific area of financial statement. This one is just talking about the standard and how they relate to the collation, or how they relate to the information we needed as an audit evidence. All these standards is majorly talking about the recognition and measurement of all the information we'll be using in the financial statement. If they actually well recognized, and the measurement, if they actually follow the normal standard procedure that the standard is talking about in relation to how they use them in the financial statement, or how they recognize them in the financial statement. So if you agree with me, my honorable professional colleague in the class, you see that the major issue now, that the standard that is causing major issue now, that it is a national hot cake, is IFRS 15 and IFRS 7 and 9, financial instrument and revenue from contract with customer. So these are okay. Now there's no how you want to create revenue now that you not consider the 5 step from IFRS 15. How you can recognize revenue, all your contract assets, your contract liability, and the likes. So with when you want to recognize your revenue, that you should open the standard to that IFRS 15 and check through, does this thing process the normal quality or the 5 basic steps of IFRS 15. If it is not, then you cannot recognize revenue. So this one is just telling us that the audit evidence, the importance and significance of all the standard in the financial statement, the recognition and measurement, where they translate in the financial statement. So that is what all the standards are saying here. So with this, we've come to the end of this. So if you read through it, you see the inventory and the likes. We've come to the all these things are just talking about the standard and how they relate to the financial statement. So you can see, as I said, at the end of all these things, this is where they have tested this the audit evidence. So I count November 2014 question 5, May 2015 question 5. But now you now notice that from 2017 upward, now it has been always, if it's not coming compulsory question, it's going to come in 20-mark question. Sometimes they might even repeat it in compulsory question and section B question. So you just, before you know, you just see that they are asking you 15-mark question about audit evidence. They can twist it to anywhere. But audit evidence does not go beyond that. These are the things you need to know under audit evidence. I hope I am communicating, my honorable professional. So last week, I explained the general overview of this audit evidence last week. So this is where they have tested all the questions. It's just for us to read through this audit evidence very well. All this summarized. If you check the study pack, you cannot see more than this there. And the study pack, they even elaborate and put many stories. That's why we were able to summarize it. If you check that the APS, this thing and this one, they are the same thing. We are able to summarize and make it KISS. We made it KISS. I'm sure as I have explained the meaning of KISS last week. We keep it short and simple and precise and making sense. So these things are there for you. Just read through it very well. If you have time, you can add the study pack to it for you to have wide knowledge about it. Then visit all these questions and read through. And I challenge you, if you will not be able to answer it. So All these things are there for us. So by the end of this thing, the objective is just to gain. And what this chapter is talking about, the meaning of audit evidence, the source of audit evidence, which we have already talked, the quality of audit evidence, we've already talked about it, the audit test and audit evidence, the test substantive testing that we talk about, those are the audit tests, and test of control, where I mentioned the key, where we have the completeness, the existence, the accuracy, the valuation, and which other one? And existence, completeness, accuracy, and valuation. So that's a test, audit test of control. And after everything, I said last week that after this chapter, we have standard understanding on what constitutes an audit evidence in the process of financial statement review. I said it last week, and we are able to substantiate that. The various sources of audit evidence and the method of obtaining them. We know the various sources of audit evidence through original documentation. These are the various sources. And how do we gather them? That's where we talk about the inspection, the recalculation, the reconfirmation, through interview, and the likes. Then again, I said by the end of this chapter, we should be able to know the difference between sufficiency and appropriateness of audit evidence informing an audit opinion, and we are able to substantiate that. Again, then the timing of audit procedure to obtain audit evidence, and relevance and reliability of audit evidence. Everything we have collated, the information we gather, the relevance and reliability of all those evidence on the financial statement prepared by the management, of which we are able to substantiate everything and incorporate it in the explanation of audit evidence that we started since last week and we ended today. So by this, we've come to the end of the class. My honorable professional colleague, students, not yet. So in next few months, inshallah, who shall be my dear professional colleague. So please, any question generally before we go? Any question generally? Any question generally? Nobody is answering me. Mr. Benjamin, please go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So thank you very, very much for the lecture. We really appreciate. God bless you. And we pray God replenish all that you've sacrificed and put into this. My question is, as an auditor now, after preparing all the necessary documents, as in gathering evidences, writing your reports, is it that you would submit all your information to the client you work for and also keep a copy to yourself? Or you don't have to necessarily keep a copy to yourself, you only leave it with the client?
No.
I'm asking this because suppose you are not the one to audit that entity next year or next accounting period, and another person comes. There's tendency
where we talk
the
about
entity might suppress some information.
Yes. Then audit evidence you gather is for you. They give you the information. Abi, you now redefine the information. You sieve it, you redefine it to your own taste. There you now form your own opinion on the account prepared by them, Abi. So those information you will find yourself is your document. You are meant to keep it in your office. That is what we call current paper file, or you can call it correspondence. So that one will serve as stepping stone for the next person that will prepare the account next year. The person will just pick up all the information, the opinion you give in the last year account, everything. The person will just read through it. The person will now understand the basis and be able to plan his own audit work around what is going to check. I hope you understand now, sir.
Yeah, but
so
my
those
question is, will the
information
person
is
get
for
those
you.
information from the entity, or the person will refer back to me?
No, this is what we are saying. All the evidence you gathered, you are meant to put it in working paper file and you put it in your office. It's not your personal again. It's for the firm. So that another person, just imagine you resign from the company. Will you now carry the information go? No, because you resign and you document all the paper in audit working paper in the office. So anybody that wants to take over the job will just go to the shelf where they have the name of the company, pick up the correspondent file or audit paper file, then read through it. You'll be able to see all the information you gather on last year account. So that one will serve as basis of its own evidence this year too. I hope you understand now, sir. Hello,
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Thank you
Benjamin.
very much.
You
Yeah, thank you
understand? Are
very
you
much.
convinced or you are not convinced?
The archive you mentioned, I want to understand, is it the archive of the clients or your own personal archive?
It's not
As an
your
auditor?
own. It cannot be
Your
your own
company.
again. It's the firm you are working for.
Okay.
The firm,
I understand.
the audit firm you are working for is the owner of that information now, because when they want to make, if FRCN come, they will not ask you, they will ask the firm, where is the information of this company? Would they now come and ask you, the staff? No, they will go and meet the managing partner, and the managing partner will not come and meet you that where is the information of this company last year. Just go to the shelf where they put all the information of the client, retrieve it, give it to them, let them check what they want to check. So it's not meant for you. It's not for your own personal use. It's for the firm you are working for, and you are meant to put the file in the office, not to take it home. If you want to have it, you might have the soft copy of everything on your laptop or something as to make reference to it. Do you understand me, sir?
Very well, sir. Sir, please,
Right.
in addition, could you please throw more light on that current file and permanent file, please? I'm sorry to drag us back.
Okay.
As in, if you want to explain to a layman, please.
Okay. The permanent file, it is the file that is explaining the information of the company history. Number one, the company policies, their way of operation, their line of business, their type of business. That is what is going to be in the permanent file. Do you understand that one?
Yes, sir.
But the current file, it is the file for that current year. And this is the file that contains all the information you gather during that year audit. You can see that it's different from permanent file. Permanent file consists of the information on the history of the company, the policies, their line of business, the risk of the business, their type of business, what they do. That is what is going to be in the permanent file. But the current file is the information you gather relating to the financial transaction of that year. The information you gather relating to financial information and non-financial information in that financial year. The information you gather, that you are meant to put it in the current file for that particular year. You understand the difference
so
now?
yes, sir. Thank you very much. So these two files you mentioned, are they types of audit working papers?
Yes, they are audit working paper file.
Okay.
Do you know
Is
why
there any difference between audit working paper and audit file?
It's the same thing.
Okay, sir. All right.
It's the same thing. Well, they just use working meaning that what you are using to do your audit work now is still the same thing as audit file. Do you understand now, sir? Please, any other question? This is 11:22. I need to go and rest. So any other question, please? Okay. In the aspect of the absence of the aspect of further question, I mean no question, how did they used to put it? This is where we are going to call it a day. Thank you for listening. Thank you, everybody. And Ramadan Barak to my dear Muslim brothers and to our Muslim Christian brothers and sisters too, with their fasting is going to start soon. So I wish everybody best of luck. I wish us best of luck in our upcoming exam. So good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night rest. Okay,
Good night, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Mr. Ola, you can end the class now, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you too.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.